a farm, like a big field full of crops, and think, oh, that looks beautiful. And I've been teaching myself to think it looks ugly if it's all one plant. Because now I've been understanding and learning about the fact that all one plant, a big monoculture, is very, very bad for the soil, for the surrounding nature, for everything. And so I've started to look at a field full of the same thing and think, oh, that's actually quite disgusting. So this is a bit nicer on the eye, because even though the plants are all the same, at least they've got some trees mixed in, which will help with some of the biodiversity and help nature to thrive there a little more in amidst the farm, and also helps keep the soil healthier so that this farm can carry on for tens or hundreds of years, rather than just thinking really short term, trying to get as much out of the soil in a few years as possible and ultimately destroying the soil with monoculture. So I just wanted to end on this idea that what's the most futuristic farm? We've talked about some futuristic ideas like these, but ultimately the most futuristic farm in many ways might be a really old-fashioned farm. It might be a really old-fashioned farm where loads of different crops are being grown, all mixed in together, and it's done on a small scale, locally, by people who are taught well, so understand how to look after the soil and understand modern methods of farming and how to protect nature, but do it in a way that is on a community scale and distributed all across the world so that it empowers multiple people. And speaking of that, I've just realised there's such a cool guest who I should get on. There's a friend of mine who went to Cambridge and basically studied how to empower farmers by helping them to compete with huge companies, because ultimately huge companies are able to sell food for cheaper and undercut the rest of the market, but he's been developing a system that helps smallhold farmers to club together and work together so that they can all sell together as one, and hence compete with the larger organizations. And he's building all the tech for that over in Colombia in South America, and he's just so cool, and maybe I should get him on to speak to you guys. Who would like to meet him? He's called David. Let me know if you want to meet him and I'll see if he's keen to come on. Okay, so I will say goodbye. I will look at some of the questions in the chat, but for now, thanks for coming, and here's what is coming up next. Do join Phil at 1 for his From Sonnets to Battle Rap, the short history of violent verse. Also, he's going to start looking into us all publishing a book, as in all the students on Aim High, so he's going to get everyone to start contributing, and we're going to start making a book. So go to his thing to find out more about that as well. He might talk about it. And he's also doing a guide to being funny tomorrow, and Hannah's doing Why Millions of People in China Are Invisible. And if you want to do the final one of me doing high school physics on electricity, then come next week. And then after that, I'm going to start doing something else. What am I doing? I think I'm not doing astrophysics. I can't remember what I'm doing next, but I'm doing another one of the physics ones. It's in the timetable. Check it out on aimhigh.com. Do go to this website to sign up for the schedule if you haven't already, and to check out what's coming next, and do spread the word. And also please do follow our socials, which are all at Aim High Live if you haven't already. And do share our posts and share it with your friends, because we are trying to spread the word. Cool. Thanks so much for coming all, and goodbye. I will now go to the questions in the chat. So Japan people are saying, what if they rotate the crops in order to protect biodiversity? And rotation of the crops is okay in that it helps to sustain soil health, in the sense that you are giving the soil more of what it needs in terms of nitrates and things by growing occasional legumes and stuff, but it's nowhere near as good as mixing things up in the first place. Again, it kind of comes from that thinking of like, what do the plants need? So what do the plants need? The plants need nitrates, so let's grow legumes one year and plough them into the soil. But that's very much like a plants-centric way of thinking, whereas actually we should be thinking a lot more about the soil. And the soil not only needs nitrates and things like that, but it also needs a healthy fungal network, which requires us not to be ploughing it all the time, because every time we plough it, we destroy the fungal network. Also, healthier soil does just produce much better food much more quickly, and it's something that time has kind of forgotten and science is now starting to rediscover. But we need to get so much better at mixing our crops together and building these kind of futuristic farms. And for those who didn't see, so Rob Hopkins, who was the first ever guest on Aim High Live, and you can watch his live back. So his whole thing was about the live lesson he gave was all about like inspiration in solving the climate crisis, but actually one of his main things is about permaculture, and he founded something called Transition Towns, and that's all about much more sustainable farming and growing on a local community scale. And check out more about Rob Hopkins, because he's amazing. And okay, what other questions are there? And Lottie's just saying hi from the Netherlands. Hi, Lottie. Nice to see you. And I think maybe that's didn't Ecosia set up a thing where they taught third world family how to grow diverse crops and look after the soil? So Ecosia Ecosia probably have been setting up some good things. I think third world is a phrase that we're not supposed to use anymore because it's kind of like from the Cold War era. But yeah, I think Ecosia have been doing a lot of like work to try and improve farming for places where people don't have access to education and tools and things, where actually the soil is often degrading really rapidly because of climate change and people really need help. So yeah, if I wasn't doing Aim High, then I would be completely embroiled in that's the thing I kind of want to do next with my life, and is to do with farming and trying to improve food systems around the world. So it's such a cool area, and I'll continue to do lives about it if people are interested in it. And Get Out of the Freezer wants to meet David. Great, I'm glad you're keen. And Catherine's saying, what about the trees feeding roots? Presumably going back to the agroforestry, so going back to this. So the roots will require like water and so on as well. So that will in some ways reduce the yield of the crops, maybe in the short term, but in the long term it's looking after the soil. So it's so much better to have the trees there. And Japan Maple's talking about a really biodiverse garden, which sounds cool. Catherine's saying, who would I trust to cut my hair in my bubble? Yeah, I'm heading towards needing a haircut. It's really annoying because I got it cut so short when I knew that this lockdown was coming, and I was like, I'm going to be stuck for several months. So I got it cut really short, but actually I am going to, I think I don't know who's going to cut my hair, but I think it's going to have to happen soon. Yes, I'm going to put those dungarees on and get the wheat stalk in my mouth. Thanks. Thanks. Okay, maybe I'll grow it longer. Anyway, we'll see. Right, I should go. But thanks all for coming, and do come along to Phil's one this afternoon. It's going to be really cool. And do join mine on Friday if you want to do electricity. And otherwise, I'll be back on Monday with how can batteries stop climate change, which someone requested ages ago, a live about batteries, and I'm finally going to do it. So I'm sorry that's taken ages. And then Josh will be back with high school biology too. Cool, right. Have a nice rest of the day, guys, and I will see you soon. Also, if you have time, do go onto onto aimhigh.co, onto the live stream page, and underneath it there's like a feedback form. And if you fill it in, it'd be so useful to learn some stuff from you all. So yeah, do that if you have time. And also, please send in any particular lives that you want me to do, any particular live lessons that you want to cover, because it's always great to get your ideas. Send them into the social media, and we will get them going. Right. Take care, all. Have a nice day. Enjoy it. It's a sunny one up here. I hope it is where you guys are, or at a nice night if it's night time if you're on the other side of the world. And I will see you all again soon. And yeah, someone was asking, am I looking out the window? That is out the window. Yes.